Welcome back to John's Echo, where ideas ignite action and discipline builds destiny. Today, we're diving into something Jim Rohn believed was foundational to every person's success or failure habits. As Rohn once said, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. In contrast, failure is just a few errors in judgment repeated daily. So let me ask you, what are the small things you do without thinking, the routines, the reflexes, the rituals? Because those, my friend, are not just harmless repetitions. They are building or destroying your future. Let's peel back the layers and uncover how habits quietly shape your life. The compound effect of habits. Jim Rohn taught us that everything affects everything. And nowhere is this more obvious than in our habits. Think about brushing your teeth. One time doesn't do much, but doing it every day for years, it keeps your teeth healthy. Neglecting it daily, that decay builds too slowly, quietly, but certainly. The same goes for your mindset. Reading 10 pages of a good book every day seems small, but over a year, that's 12 books. That's a different worldview. That's wisdom and vocabulary and clarity you didn't have before. On the flip side, watching TV for 4 hours a night seems like rest, but it's quietly stealing your dreams. That's the danger of poor habits. They're comfortable, easy, and deceptively harmless in the short term. Success isn't one big leap. One of Jim Rohn's core teachings was this: success is not to be pursued, it is to be attracted by the person you become. And you become that person through discipline, through choosing habits that align with the life you desire. Success doesn't show up one morning with a trumpet. It sneaks in quietly after years of waking up early, showing up prepared, being honest, treating others well, managing your finances, and feeding your mind. Want a healthier body? Don't chase the new workout fad. Start with one habit. Drink more water, cut sugar, move 30 minutes a day. Want a better mindset? Don't wait for motivation. Form the habit of journaling, reading uplifting books, and speaking gratitude. The habits don't have to be revolutionary. They just have to be consistent. Invisible habit #1, negative self. Jim Rohn said, you must stand guard at the door of your mind. But too many people let their mind run wild. They say things like, I'm not good at this. This always happens to me. I'll probably fail anyway. And they repeat these thoughts like a broken record. That repetition becomes belief, and belief. That becomes destiny. Here's the truth. You are listening to yourself more than anyone else. So if your inner voice is filled with doubt, fear, or self-hate, you are living under the weight of invisible chains. Want to change your life? Start with your language. Turn I can't into how can I. Turn I always fail into I'm still learning. Jim taught that words are seeds. Sow the right ones and you'll harvest strength. Invisible habit #2, justifying mediocrity. This one's subtle. It sounds like, everyone else is struggling too. At least I'm not as bad as them. It's not my fault, it's the system. These justifications sound logical, even comforting. But they kill your growth. Why? Because they remove responsibility. Jim Rohn believed that if you don't take 100% responsibility, you give your power away. He said, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. If you blame your boss, your parents, the economy, you lock yourself in a mental prison. Your mind becomes a fortress of excuses, and every excuse becomes a habit. Break it, own your life. Even if you didn't cause the problem, it's your job to fix it. Invisible habit #3. Delayed action procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's a mindset. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I'll try when I have more time. I'll wait until it's perfect. But perfection never comes. And time, it only slips away. Jim Rohn said, without a sense of urgency, desire loses its value. Want to know who wins? The person who acts, not the one who plans forever. If you wait until everything is perfect, you'll die waiting. Principle #1. Success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Jim Rohn didn't believe in magical transformation. He believed in small, steady efforts. He said, Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Think about that. You don't need a radical life overhaul. You need a morning routine that gives you control. You need to read 10 pages a day instead of scrolling aimlessly. You need to save 10% of your income instead of spending everything. Little disciplines compound, and eventually they change everything. Principle #2. Start with one change. Here's a common mistake: trying to change too much at once. You say, from tomorrow I'll wake up at 5, go to the gym, meditate, journal, read 3 books a week. And within 3 days, it all collapses. Jim taught us to start small, but stay consistent. Pick one habit, one discipline. Maybe it's drinking more water. Maybe it's writing your goals every morning. Master one, then add another. Remember, momentum builds mastery. Principle #3. Track everything. What gets measured gets improved. Jim Rohn said, don't just let your life happen. Design it, plan it, track it. If you want to lose weight, track your meals. If you want to get wealthy, track your spending. If you want to become focused, track your screen time. Why? Because clarity brings power. When you see the numbers, you stop lying to yourself. Most people are not lazy, they're just unaware. Tracking makes you aware, and awareness is the beginning of change. Principle #4. Create a winning environment. Your habits are not just about discipline, they are about design. If your phone is the first thing you touch in the morning, change your environment. If junk food is the easiest thing to reach, rearrange your kitchen. If your friends drain your energy, it's time to reconsider your circle. Jim Rohn famously said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your environment silently programs your habits. So build an environment that makes success automatic. Principle #5. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Jim said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Motivation feels good, but it's inconsistent. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision you make in advance. It's the voice in your head that says, I don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway. Want to write a book? You'll need discipline. Want to lose weight? Discipline. Want to build wealth? Discipline again. Discipline is your internal compass when the emotional weather changes. It's what you do on the days when your dreams don't feel exciting. Principle #6. Don't major in minor things. Here's something that kills consistency: distraction. Jim Rohn warned, don't spend major time on minor things. It's easy to fall into busy work, checking emails, over-planning, or tweaking your to-do list instead of doing the work. Ask yourself daily, am I working on what really matters? Keep the main thing the main thing. If your goal is to get healthy, focus on exercising and eating clean, not reading 20 fitness blogs. If your goal is financial freedom, focus on learning income, generating skills, not endlessly researching productivity hacks. Principle #7. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Jim said, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. You don't need a break through every week. You need to keep doing the fundamentals even when they feel boring. That means wake up early again, save money again, say no to junk food again, read something useful again. This is where most people fail because repetition feels unrewarding. But repetition is the real magic. It creates mastery. Principle #8. The power of one more day when it gets tough. Jim would remind us, just one more day, one more workout, one more chapter, one more rejection faced. One more disciplined choice, because every time you say, I'll do it anyway, you strengthen your self-respect, and self-respect leads to identity. You stop trying to become disciplined, you start being disciplined. And that's where everything changes. Principle #9. What's easy to do is easy not to do. Jim Rohn famously said, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. Eating healthy, easy. Reading 10 pages, easy. Saving $10 a day, easy, but you know what else is easy? Skipping all of it. This is where rewards come in. The human brain is wired for instant gratification. It craves feedback. So if you want your habits to stick, you need to celebrate the small wins. Did you wake up on time? Celebrate it. Resisted junk food? Acknowledge that victory. Read a chapter. Give yourself credit. Success isn't a single massive event. It's the result of 1,0,0,0 micro wins stacked over time. Principle #10. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Jim said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work hard on your job, you'll make a living, but if you work hard on yourself, you'll make a fortune. The biggest reward of habit building isn't the external result. It's who you become in the process. Your new habits don't just produce outcomes, they shape your identity. Every time you act in alignment with your goals, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Want to be healthy? Every workout casts a vote for that identity. Want to be wealthy? Every budget-conscious decision is a vote. Want to be disciplined? Every time you show up, that identity gets stronger. You're not chasing success anymore. You're becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts it. Principle #11. We all must suffer one of two pains. Jim shared one of his most powerful truths. We must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Building habits takes effort. There's discomfort, resistance, sacrifice, but the alternative is far worse: living a life of regret, wishing you had started sooner, tried harder, or stayed consistent. Discipline is temporary, regret is permanent. That's why rewarding yourself emotionally, mentally, or even physically helps keep the pain of discipline bearable, even enjoyable. You don't need to wait until you make it to feel successful. Celebrate the climb. Step 1. Start with who, not what. Before setting a goal, ask yourself, who do I want to become? This is identity-based habit formation. Jim Rohn said, success is not to be pursued, it is to be attracted by the person you become. Want to become disciplined? Build habits that someone disciplined would have. Wake early, stick to schedules, eat clean. Want to become a leader? Develop the habits of listening, reading, coaching, and constant reflection. It's not about what you do once in a while, it's about who you consistently are. Step 2. Build your keystone habits. A keystone habit is a habit that, once in place, makes other habits easier or even automatic. Examples: waking up early, daily exercise, journaling, planning your day the night before. Jim's version of keystone habits: don't start your day until you've finished it on paper. One small keystone habit can ripple through your finances, fitness, focus, and relationships. Step 3. Track your progress, not your perfection. One of the biggest mistakes. Waiting to be perfect before you commit, but real mastery comes from repetition, not perfection. So track your habits, celebrate consistency, and course correct when needed. Use tools like a habit tracker. A journal, weekly reviews. Jim advised, measure your progress. Don't let a day slip by without reviewing your efforts. Awareness creates accountability. Step 4. Environment, willpower. You don't need to be superhuman. You need to be strategic. Want to read more? Put books by your bed. Want to eat better? Don't buy junk. Want to work out? Lay out your gym clothes in advance. Design your environment for success, so it requires less willpower and more flow. Jim Rohn would say, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. That bridge is stronger when your environment supports your journey. Step 5. Commit to the long game. Jim didn't believe in overnight success. He believed in compound growth. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals. You won't see a huge change in a week. But give it 30 days, then 90, then a year, and soon you'll be unrecognizable in the best way.